Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone joining me real time streaming and then later on whenever you join. My name's Alex Levin, and usually this is Annie's time slot, and she's getting some well deserved vacation. Um, so she'll be back, I think, not next week, but the following. I believe Chris Clardy is will be in this seat next week, and you'll be happy to join her. I might do that myself. So thank you all for being here. It really makes it special. Even though we can't see each other, I know you're out there, and the energetic level is so meaningful. It's more powerful. I keep getting bonked on the head, reminded that it's more powerful than I think because it's way outside our thoughts. So I titled tonight's talk Imagine. I don't know if this is in the public domain, but John Lennon's sketch of himself, right? It's an in what's it called? Jackie, the portrait artist. It's a self portrait, and let it be. So let's start with a centering. Well, I will explain. This is not streamed tonight as my husband has COVID. I am feeling okay, but I have a feeling I may get it too, or maybe I'll escape it. So it is safer for me not to show up in a indoor public space for sure. So let's start with some centering, and please make sure you have just what you need to feel supported tonight in a physical way. Also, hopefully, we'll this time together will be supportive in a more energetic way, in a deeper way as well. That your space is comfortable, that you have cushions or a wall or whatever you need. If you'd like to be laying down for this first part, it can work. It can work even laying down. So you choose and give yourself a little time to choose. Like if you just kind of expected that you were going to be in a seated position, um, maybe verify that. Maybe take some time. And by verify, I mean drop in as if you're asking your every cell of your being the question: what's the posture? What's the position that my body would like at this time for this practice tonight? And certainly for the 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever we share here tonight, you can shift around. You are in charge. And once you've gotten that answer, and sometimes the answer might be hazy, but trust your gut, and just trust your gut that it is what make a choice, make a commitment to the choice. And my little 3 words of guidance for settling into meditation, which I've gotten from my recent teachers, Linda and Russell Delman, are ground, sound, and breath. They're a little bit obvious, but they're also a little bit of a code word for something bigger. And ground is literally to feel what your body is touching underneath you. So, in the vertical field of gravity, what's under you, whether it's a comfy armchair, or for me, this spot I sit at so often in the middle of our sunroom. And the textures, take a little time to let your skin and your nervous system absorb what those textures are, not just from rote memory, but from really, really sensing into them, into the way the body weight merges with gravity and the solid parts underneath, the carpet, the floor, and even sensing below that, the earth below, the various geological levels, taking you through many, many, many miles to the center of this planet. And we can start to see how the body at the hips, and if you're lying down, you can just take this, the other direction, or maybe not just your hips, but your whole back body or your side body, sensing that first layer that's just above the ground, midriff, lower ribs, if you're seated, the heart, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, throat, your head, and above the head, the sense of the feel of that space above you. And then following up, 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 as if like an antenna, those ones we used to have on the TVs that collapse in on itself. It can go all the way down to the center of the earth, but then we're pulling it up, 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 up through that central channel of ourself. And even if you're lying down, you can take this same um, line relative to the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. If you're lying down, just curve it to go up into the skies, the heavens, and curve it to go down to the earth. Seated, we've got it going up, 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 up into the past the atmosphere, out of the earth, earth atmospheric ring, and up into where there is no more gravity. Through our solar system. And then just trace a few times up and down this line through the spine. And it can just go up somewhere beyond the head and back down through the head, back of the face, through the throat, through the center heart, upper belly, lower belly, in front of the tail, and down toward the earth center. All that can come from code word ground. Code word sound. Just leaving you space to absorb. The meaning of the word, and connotations and associations come naturally, don't they? And part of what we're doing, we're sensing here real time, and we're also sort of imagining, aren't we? Remembering, imagining, but some of it is just very real, a lot of it. As I hear a sound of the fan oscillating back and forth, these earbuds might be canceling that for you. I distantly hear the birds outside the closed windows. What sound do you hear and feel coming from out there to in here? Another little miracle. there's a feeling of that, of these pathways. And perhaps open up, so the code word opens up to everything that is in the space around us, in close and a little farther and then toward infinity and going in deep. So there's this exchange of all that's kind of spherically in every direction around us, to the left and right, front and back. And yet we can stay right here with that vertical ground, ground sound, breath, breath. Perhaps when I said the word breath, you brought your attention to your belly, perhaps to your nostrils, perhaps to the pace of breath, or perhaps you noticed how sweet the feel of your breath is and how comforting and supportive a return, another supportive element we're pulling in here today, tonight, now. Support of the breath, even if we're not attending to it, but something, again, miraculous, magical when we join our attention with it. And I haven't asked you to do anything particular with the breath, but entertain it and welcome it in any way that maybe is a little bit exploring, or a little bit, maybe it's something you've done before with the breath. Maybe you're following it up and down that vertical channel we traced in the beginning. Maybe you're just kind of watching it in a more whole sense, anywhere inside you, and relishing that as you do that, you sort of become aware of places that we're holding, and that sweet release without even really an effort, but just because you noticed, just letting it be. There might be, I've been mentioning this as I teach and share, that as we catch ourselves holding, or we catch ourselves drifting and come back when we're meditating, you might notice if there's any tendency of punishing yourself, of taking points off, and perhaps rethink that. There might not need to be chastising. Maybe the tension was there for a good reason. And perhaps in all these pointers, these words, perhaps they've landed you. Perhaps you can sense just this here-ness, just this being home. And I'll ask you a question now as you sit in perhaps this sense of homeness, or however you are here tonight. What brought you here? It's a very broad question. What brought you here? There could be many answers, so just you let yourself hold the question and see. You might say, "Well, my legs walked me here to this spot. My computer, electricity." routine or a commitment to coming on Wednesday nights, a commitment to this practice. A couple of my teachers have often said that one of them named Sharon Landreth, she resides in Colorado. I think her group is called Clear Light Sangha. She says, whatever brought us here, it's got to be pretty powerful. We've given up a number of things. She was referring to coming on retreat week, but this time that you show up here, this half hour or 45 minutes, however long we'll be together, you gave up a lot of things to come be here. There might be, I'm guessing, and this has also been pointed to me, and it really resonated when it has been. So it means there was some truth from and some truth of that in me that there's almost a calling, like a coming home. Like there has been for me sometimes a search for it, but it might be something, and this has resonated when teachers have shared this. It's something that we are pulled to, and partly we're pulled to it because it's super, super familiar, super, super familiar. Because it's our maybe it's our essence calling us to itself. That may resonate for you, or it may ring hollow and not true. So keep the question open for yourself. And so I'm going to move us into a little movement practice. We can do it just from sitting. And if you're lying down, you can also do it from lying down. This is a practice introduced again by my current teachers that I'm studying with more often these days, is Linda and Russell Dillman. Linda taught us this one. This is a nice one that you could do. Maybe you could in your, well, yes, you could do it in public, and you could, just depends how you want to do it in public. We're going to be moving our arms here in a way. So I'm going to shift my seating position. My knees are asking for that. And um, so bring your hands up to where they'd be level with the horizontal plane of the top of your head, or maybe a little over the top of your head. So for me, it'd be up out off the screen here, comfortably. So imagine that what we're going to do is if we're sitting in a tank of water and somehow we're capable of breathing without any discomfort, and we're going to be the water level is going to be let out now. Somebody's going to pull the plug of this gigantic hot tub we're sitting in, or pool. Hot tub doesn't sound so good with the temperatures here. A nice cool pool here for my imagination. Let your imagination have the water nice for you. And as the water's going out, the water level's going down, and you can feel it. You can kind of trace it in your body as it's coming past the top of your head, coming to mid forehead level and eyebrow level, but the whole plane, you're sensing the whole plane. So it's a little exercise in imagination, imagining down to the bridge of the nose and sure where I am. Again, you might like me. You might not be exactly sure where you are. I think I'm at the nostrils. No matter. It's just a feel. The jaw hinge, tongue. Slow, slow is good. And relax your eyes. The water level's going down out to the chin. You can go at your speed if you want to go faster or slower. Not too fast though. Slow is good. Throat into the collarbones. we're doing this, or I'm doing it from seated, it's nice to do this from standing as well. Seems like I'm just below the shoulder level now, and the chest, mid chest level, down toward the mid rib cage. It's getting past the heart, getting to the lower ribs. About for me, the waist level. Breathing freely. Coming to the rim of my hip bones, to about the level of my navel, level of my hip joints, and eventually the palms. They're still facing down earthward, and we're just going to rest down on the ground as I sense my sits bones. But I'm going to imagine that my legs are on the same level. Yours might be also, but if you're sitting in a chair, you might imagine now you're coming down through the calves, ankles, soles of your feet. And just standing as you really let all the water drain as if it's soaking into the earth below us now, or going down this drain. And this can be a really nice practice to do when you're feeling anxious or revved up or angry, any kind of hot, active emotion. You might notice that perhaps this shifted you to a little deeper calmness. And then if you want to do this in public, you maybe don't want to raise your hands, but you could imagine that your hands are raised. In fact, you can just do that really quickly. Just imagine in a more fast pace that we scan through a second time, but we just imagine the hands raised. Eyes could be closed or even open, and um, just imagining that water level coming down and the palms of the hands coming down with it, past the nose, chin, collarbones, heart, the base of the breastbone, the waist, lower ribs, hips, pubic bones, sits bones. Hmm. So imagining. So you kind of just hold on to however you're sensing this experience now, but you can move around if you like. So we've done a couple little practices, the ground sound breath of just bringing us right here, the bringing the water level down with our hands and in our imagination. And in a sense, we're also engaging. I don't know, I've been thinking about our felt sense and our feeling our emotions, our energetic body. And there are so many ways to do that through chakra work, through putting a hand on your heart, through listening as if into the body, through the breath for sure. Lots of ways to do that with the breath. And I'm going to take us through another little visualization. And again, if you want to shift your position, and this might be really nice to do lying down, and then we might segue, do this for a few minutes. And this one could segue right into meditation, another meditation that we'll end with. And that may be seated. Standing meditation is a possibility. Walking meditation is a possibility. Sitting on a favorite chair, sitting with your back up against the wall, lying on your side. So I'm fascinated by what can't be named, what what might have brought you to this meditation, and I need a sip of water, excuse me, that sense of presence that even the word presence is not it. And that sense that those of you who've been at this practice for a while have had at least glimpses of, and I'm betting you've had immersions of it that are perhaps they are a blend. I'm going to use some words, but the words, remember that the words are not it. Presence is one of them, a really good one. Can feel like a sense of home. And that word didn't work for me. Even a short time ago, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, my teacher was using it. And for me, what was working at the time is just here, just right here. And then home became, I don't know, made itself available to me. Another word might be, or words that I'm going to use in this little exercise we're going to do, is a deep sense of harmony, of ease, of oneness, peace. And as I always think when I point this way that Eric Schiffman has said, unfortunately, the word peace doesn't mean too much for many of us, for many people. And I think it's just because it's already got so many meanings. So, in this practice, this little resource building practice, and it's sort of like drawing ourselves a map, drawing it on a mapping it in our whole nervous system. And it's again, the map is not the thing, but as we sense into it, as we sense, when I guide you and you sense into it, you might assign words, just like words that I used, but if possible, sense and feel and look for, invite words that will be as accurate as you can get them. And oftentimes, what works is several words, words to describe the now sense of this and the sense perhaps of color, of sound, of whatever arises. So it might be like a fluffy purple cotton candy feeling. I'm just making that up real quick. But that already is so different than peace. Like peace is so abstract. It's not that it's not a good word. It's a good word. It's a great word. But like poetry or visual art or sculpture or nature. You might find nature or sound for some of you, sound or melody, smells, cooking, tasting. Some of those may be helpful. So find yourself a comfortable position. Perhaps it's lying down and get ready for a little journey. And if you like to take notes of what you do, I encourage that. You could do it during, and you could just wait till after. So you might want to have pen and pencil nearby, or pencil, crayon, and paper nearby, as I have, and just come back to ground, sound, breath. It might be easy to access now, the sense of being right here as we've established it. And let yourself remember, and it might be partly fictionalized, or it might truly be a memory of a time and place where you did really feel this sense of harmony or oneness. And it can be something really prosaic. It can be something like, I just felt it yesterday walking along Lubber Run Park in our neighborhood, where I could put my feet in the stream on the little pebbles under the big shady trees. So that's a little visualization I have, but I might go somewhere else as I'm playing this with you. And so, and perhaps it was a big event. It could be a birth or a death or a reunion And it might be often I have a dear cousin who anytime am welcomed by her, there's a sense the way she greets me that it's just full of love and there's a as I'm describing with a gesture, so if you're only listening, you'd open your eyes. There's a coming together and there's a coming together. So gesture might be what something that comes, and that would be super powerful. Maybe for me, that gesture goes like this, almost like magnetic pull and drawing in. And the words there, magnetic pull, drawing in. And so as you conjure up this memory, and if you feel like you're really trying hard and you don't have one, maybe go to a place you might wish to have a peaceful sense, a place you want to go back to, maybe already that would take you to a memory or an imaginary, something you're hoping for, but bring it into the here and now, into the present tense. And then see. And if you're alone, you might even, or even if you're not alone, you can say the words out loud or do the gestures of what's the description of this experience. I'll give you another example of how it's manifesting for me now, if I can. It's here, but I need to give it some time to find the words, which is this is an important part of this process. Give it time. Spacious, inside space. And I've got a hand gesture to it. Inner space, sparkly warm inner space, fireflies. As you hear yourself say it or you try it out, maybe it's not quite it. So those aren't quite it. It's kind of like expansive, twinkly space. It fits nicely for now. But my gesture is a part of it. It's sort of like coming in from the inside of me, and it's got this expansive, sparkly, it's dynamic. The sparkles even change. All right, so now just marinate in that. If more words come, if gestures come, let's take another couple minutes breathing and soaking that up. Then go ahead and just let yourself slide from here into a short meditation. Let's do about 8 minutes. It's going to be about 8 minutes. I may not talk very much. And at the end, I will ring the bell. And so minimizing any of the movement needed to shift. You might not have needed to move at all. You might just land where you are. You might come back to something like ground, sound, breath. to bring you here, to bring you home. Lingering with any of those words, with any of those pointers as they're just available tools, always available. And whatever happens, whatever distractions come in, whatever trips your mind takes, it's a win-win situation. Commitment to stillness is a powerful ally here as well. Many forces may try to hijack you. Habit and just the character of the mind, not a problem. If you notice, you could spend a little time just kind of taking a look at that, like just as we did with the resource practice of presence, just really getting a felt sense of it. Just a little. The practice now mainly is meditation, but maybe half a minute, even 2 minutes, and then let it know. You know, it, you'll be back to visit with it. It might be something to explore and just come back. If you like, bring in the gesture or the feel, the words, anything from that sense of your peaceful experience, your oneness experience, just mainly as a reminder, a map, a pointer, because it's always right here. So imagine can be a tool that we use to help us with the maps of getting to here. Let it be. That little phrase can also be guidepost. Let it be. Just the letting go of any effort. There's none required. The bell to close the practice, and then bringing together the palms in front of the heart and a bow, and just feeling what that gesture means just in itself. It's the meaning that comes of it. The feel is there. Some of it cultural, some of it passed down through us, and some of it just very cellular and personal. So right here is right here. And I do also want to acknowledge, because I've been there many, many times myself, where here is so elusive, and I almost get mad at my teachers for saying it's just right here. It's so accessible. It's simple and yet it's not easy. And yet the more we visit it, the more we have a what's the word? The word starts with a C. The more we really are convinced, it's not the word that I'm looking for, it might come in a moment, that it's a reliable place. And if it doesn't feel like it's here, whatever it is that's here, if it's a darn it, I'm not here, and kind of a frustration, can we welcome that? Because that's a manifestation of the here. So I'd like to really thank you for being here in real time or later. Real time. Um, fun with physics concepts. Um, and and I it helps to see your comments there and knowing you're there through those. But there's also a feel. There are some. friends who are sharing that they really have a hard time either teaching or taking classes through this virtual medium. But I wonder if, for me, I feel like we are really, really together, and maybe I'm making it up, and that's fine with me. But I feel the energy of our connection, and I'd like to also thank the Beatles who are inspired me as well tonight. So thank you. Hope to see you soon, or just thinking of you and holding you in my heart in our Sun and Moon Yoga community. And next week should be in the studio with Chris Clardy, and then Annie should be back the following week. Ciao, ciao.